here we go. Tuesday, November 2nd, 2021, voting day.
Yes, sir.
In America. How about that?
There we go.
The bottom line, Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards. Maz is off once again today.
Yes.
We told him to stay home, Braylon.
Hey, man.
Ooh.
I'm saying, it's a spacious studio, but at the same time, it's a little tight in here. I don't want Maz potentially passing it to Fish or Alex or myself or you, and then we pass it out there to the ladies at Lady Jane. So it was a smart decision for him to stay home. But I will tell you this, Maz, I missed you because for the first time ever, I parked across Woodward on the, I guess that would be the eastern side of Woodward, in your honor. So there you go.
There's some parking situations going on over here in Birmingham with the street.
It's not there.
Yeah, the street
not there.
Where we go into the parking garage here in Birmingham, and that street is torn up, so we had to go across Birmingham to park. But it was worth it. Today it is free parking over there, which we always love.
Yeah, it was worth it. It also reminded me that American is a very, we're the number one gluttonous country for a reason. Like, I go over there, it's right next to the Speedway gas station. I said, let me pop in here.
You had to stop in there.
Let me pop in here. I haven't been to Speedway in a while. Let me go get a water. Well, that turned into a grape soda, some taquitos, and some great some gummy worms. Good old America, baby.
You ever have a Speedo? A
Speedo? No, I've never worn a Speedo.
You ever have a Speedway pizza?
Yes, I have.
Pretty
I used to work
darn
at Speedway
good.
in Michigan.
Pretty darn good, isn't it?
When I was in college, I used to work at Speedway. Like, I worked the morning shift, so when we get off, I always take a piece to go because by the time I got off the morning shift, it was lunchtime. So yes, they're very underrated.
Alex is with us in the booth. Fish is with us in the booth as well. Gentlemen, thanks for playing along with us. Big show today.
Before we do that, Alex, go ahead and raise it up. I bought it in. I forgot yesterday, but I am a man of my word, and I am there it is. There it is. I bought the mini Paul Bunyan in to Alex, and he is the Michigan State representative.
Oh, and you can put on the back here.
Yeah, I wrote on the back. There you go. MSU 37, UM 33.
Yes,
That's very good writing, Braylon.
I appreciate that. It is officially over. Now it's time to move on to Purdue for Michigan State and Indiana for Michigan.
Speaking of penmanship, Braylon has the best penmanship for any male in the universe. And he writes it in cursive as well, too. His notebook is like this thick walking into the show with all of these notes. I don't even know.
You just never know. You never know what you're going to have to cover.
He's ready for just about anything. And that's a good thing today because we've got just about everything, including a couple of guests today. We're going to talk to Jamie Morris, former Michigan running back, one of the great Michigan football players of all time.
He's number 3 all time. I think he had the rushing record. Train broke it from him, and then Mike Hart broke it from Train. So
absolutely, 4,300 rushing yards for a player for the Michigan Wolverines. Worked with the university for some time. Now does a radio show on WTKA in Ann Arbor from 3 until 6. So we'll catch him at about 2:24 somewhere in there.
Looking forward to that.
Also, look, we loved him when he was here, and
Slay.
We were mad when he went away. Darius Slay of the Philadelphia Eagles, former Lion, will join us at 3 o'clock or in the top of hour number 2 if you're not watching or listening live.
Yeah, one of the major mistakes that Matt Patricia and that regime made was pissing off a player like Darius Slay, especially after that 2017 season that he had, I think, 26 pass deflections, 8 interceptions. You don't lose players like that. And it wasn't him. Like, he really liked this. Everyone liked him inside the organization. From the team point of view, in the community, he was great as well. You don't lose players like that. Like, you just don't piss players off like that, and that's what happened, and they went their separate ways. But Detroit misses him, I tell you that. That's
right. And he was so gracious in his return to the city of Detroit when the Eagles just pounded the Lions on Sunday. He scored a touchdown, defensive touchdown.
Sealed the deal.
Sent a beautiful tweet about the city of Detroit after that game. And then, of course, all of the love that he gave to everybody in Michigan that was remarkable. So we want to catch up with Darius Slay. College football playoff going to be revealed tonight. It's the first ranking there. Where will Michigan State rank on the heels of their win over Michigan? Where will Michigan rank with the one loss? Fish?
And Maction starts tonight. Weekday Maction.
Oh, there's football tonight.
Yes, weekday Maction.
Oh, what is that?
Mid-American Conference
Yeah,
begins
the
playing
MAC
their
Conference.
Tuesday night football lineup.
Man, don't be trying to give me some short.
Why don't you like? You don't like
some
weekday
shortcut way of saying
matches?
something you don't know about.
That's right.
You got to say it out for me, Fish. I didn't know
That's what
that
they
was.
call it. They call it MAC.
Yeah, weekday action. The Central Michigan, Eastern Michigan, Western Buffalo,
Well, you know
Toledo.
what? Let me
Akron.
start doing some homework before I piss another fan base off. Let me start doing my homework.
Yeah.
My apologies for the Maxi. That's on me.
You don't
That's
have
on
Bowling
me.
Green.
You don't
Go
have
Falcons.
to be. You don't have to be the
Go
authority
Falcons.
on the Mid-American Conference.
Hey, well, my former coach, Scott Leffler, who was offensive coordinator my senior in Michigan, he's the head coach at Bowling Green, and my wide receivers coach, Eric Campbell, who was the best coach I ever had. He coached your boy DT, Marquise Walker, Jason Avant, Amani Toomer, Mercury Hayes, the list goes on.
Wow.
He's the wide receiver and offensive coordinator for Bowling Green. So, to your point, Fish, go Falcons.
There you go. Also today, the NFL trade deadline is a couple of hours away, and I don't know, as of now, it doesn't appear to be like there's any blockbuster on the horizon. Before the show,
It was
Braylon,
yesterday.
we were taught, Von Miller goes to the Rams yesterday. They are all in, the Los Angeles Rams. They don't have a first-round pick, a second-round
Don't
pick,
need one.
a third-round pick. They don't show up until the fourth round in the NFL draft in 2022, the LA Rams.
But when you draft well, and what they do, if you pay attention, the only first rounder that they have is Aaron Donald. Everybody else that they draft is second-round
Yes.
draft picks, third-round draft picks. They draft well. That's the reason we got Brad Holmes. He was so ingenuitive in picking, in drafting. Their scouting department with the Rams is phenomenal. The players that they pick up that they acquire in free agency, man, they acquire for the best of deals. They pinpoint who they want, who they need, and they get exactly that. They needed a quarterback. They needed a guy to be the leader, take over this team, and use the pieces that they had. Well, guess what? They went and got Matt Stafford. They did what it took, and now look at them. They went and got Von Miller. Von Miller's a guy that, no, he's not the MVP of the Super Bowl, Von Miller, but he's still darn good. And you put him on that line with Floyd as well as Aaron Donald, and now you have Von Miller. The pieces that they play, Andrew Wentworth, to add him on as a left tackle. The scouting that they do, the pieces that they add, and the way in which they draft, Rams are probably the best organization right now in National Football League in terms of that.
And if you're the Green Bay Packers, if you're the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, those three teams specifically, the Rams, I don't think there's anybody else in the NFC. The Cowboys. Okay, so if you're the Cowboys, the Bucks,
Green Bay,
or the Packers, don't you have to do something today to keep up with the Rams? Because this NFC is loaded. I'm not sure there's if you look at the AFC, I mean,
it's falling apart.
To me, it looks like Buffalo, and that's about
AFC's
it.
AFC's falling apart.
Buffalo seems to be the best team, and there's no clear second.
100%. It started off real hot. It started off with Buffalo. It started off with the Raiders. It started off with Justin Herbert, what he was doing with the Chargers. Started off with Lamar Jackson and how hot they were and what they were doing. It just seems like the Titans. But it just seems the Bengals came on late for us. It seems like as soon as you're ready to crown somebody, they lose. And keep in mind, the Bengals lost to the Jets.
Right.
So that's a division, or that's a conference in which, to your point, it's just a one-team race.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at this NFL trade deadline, you have got to try to improve your roster.
Not the Bucks, though.
I know. Well, maybe not the Bucks.
Not the Bucks.
Sure, not the Bucks. But if you look at the Packers, don't you have to go get a tight end today? Maybe some receiver help. I mean, they are deep at receiver.
They're just all on the bench because they're hurt.
Exactly.
They're all
They
hurt.
do have Devontae Adams, who I think is the best receiver in football.
Out with COVID last week.
Yeah, but I mean, can you imagine? And it's not going to happen. But it's one of those, can you imagine an Odell Beckham Jr. lining up opposite Devontae Adams?
Yeah, the thing that's going on with him in Cleveland is he hasn't been a distraction. He hasn't taken away from what the team is doing. He hasn't even had a drop this season. According
choir boy, really.
According to Pro Football Focus, he has been everything that people complained about him doing. He has been the opposite of that. He's been dialed in, and this is inside sources telling me this information. He's been dialed in. He's been a joy to work around. It just doesn't work with him and Kyle Stefanski's offense. Kyle Stefanski's offense doesn't feature Odell Beckham. It features individuals as a team, as a collective, and they can't seem a way to work him in there. Baker Mayfield had way more success. Just look at the games when Odell didn't play last year. Baker was great. I think the last 11 games of the season, he graded out to the number 4 quarterback in the NFL without Baker Mayfield. When he had Jarvis Landry in there, a guy that will do anything for you, can run all the routes. It just doesn't work with Odell, and that happens sometimes. And it happens. They just got to move him, though, because it's a distraction now that you're not going to trade him. You're not going to throw him the ball. He doesn't work, and Baker Mayfield can't seem to find him. You got to move him, or you got to do what the Cowboys did with Jalen Smith and release him. And he just got released again, too, by the way. Yeah,
so the Cowboys released Jalen Smith. The Packers pick him up the next day. The Packers released linebacker Jalen Smith, 26 years old, a really, really good player in the NFL, too. So something, and I don't want to speculate, but something does seem to be happening off the field with Jalen Smith, because on the field, he's a really, really good player.
Yeah, you don't have 3 back-to-back seasons of 120 or more tackles, and then all of a sudden you get released twice in the same year, within 5 weeks of each other. So something's going on the horizon there with him. I hope he's well. I hope his family's well. But there's something brewing with him, and I'm sure it'll come out.
There is some breaking news that just happened, actually, regarding Raiders wide receiver Henry Ruggs III. He is expected to be okay, but he will be charged with DUI resulting in death.
What?
So that is a Category B felony offense in Nevada with a minimum of 2 years in state prison and maximum of 20 years. So a DUI resulting in death happened at 3:39 a.m. This morning. Henry Ruggs, Raiders wide receiver.
Yeah, these things are always tragic. It's always terrible. I remember the Leonard Little situation that happened, University of Tennessee DN that played for the Rams. But also, I remember Dante Stallworth. Dante Stallworth was a teammate of mine. Dante Stallworth, once again, University of Tennessee, he had a situation happen like that, one of those late night, and actually, he was under the influence, but he was texting. Like, that's the big thing, is texting and not looking. So, you just feel bad sorry for the people that were injured, the person that was murdered, and you hope that everything works out the way it should.
Absolutely. My goodness, just a tragic situation there in Las Vegas. Braylon, I want to get to the Lions. What do they have to do, if anything? Because it does not appear that they're going to do anything this trade deadline. How big of
They didn't do anything on Sunday either, so it's becoming
exactly. How big of a missed opportunity does this seem to be for Brad Holmes, if in fact he does nothing before the trade deadline? I want to hit you with that. Thanks for watching on YouTube. Thanks for watching on Twitter, wherever you may be watching. Absolutely. Woodward Sports Network. We are growing here, and we continue to appreciate everybody as they try to find us here in Birmingham, Michigan. And hopefully you like what you're hearing. And even if you don't like what you're hearing, hopefully you watch us too, because you like us, you hate us, whatever the case may be. Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Fellas, football season is here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Hey, it's Maz from MyBookie. We have a lot of great stuff for you tonight. We have the Pistons who play tonight, the Bucks. The spread is Bucks favored by 4, so you might want to cash on the Pistons, possibly. Red Wings are in Canada. No Bertuzzi, no Larkin. So you're going to get big money on the Wings tonight. Go Wings in Canada. We have other stuff. Champions League if you're soccer fans. Maction tonight. Weekday Maction football is here. And so much more to delight your eyes. So go to mybookie.ag and use the promo code Woodward. MyBookie will instantly double your first deposit. That's promo code Woodward. So you can double your funds and double your winnings. Bet anytime, anything, and anywhere with MyBookie. Have a gambling problem? Call the the Michigan Gambling Hotline, 1-800-270-7117.
Look at Fish with the delight your eyes. Check you out. I see you over there, Fish. I'm paying attention.
It's a pretty good Maz impersonation as well. Fish, good job. As we can't wait for our guy Tom Masway to return with us. Just feeling a little bit under the weather. It's not COVID. just a little under the weather, and I don't think Braylon and I want him here spreading his germs, even if it's a cold. I don't want
This is a tough season, and I've been, my sinuses have been killing me all season. You guys can hear me on the air. I'm sure you can hear me on the radio when you watch me. So I'm trying to stay as smooth as I can be right now, and everything is going well. I don't need any more germs.
Oh, man,
so
no
I appreciate
doubt.
Matt staying home.
Absolutely. Big Monday Night Football game last night that we got to get to. We got to get to the
boring.
Mannings as well. But I just wanted to hit you real quick, Braylon, with Brad Holmes and this NFL trade deadline that's going to happen in about an hour and 45 minutes from now. They do have 2 first-round picks. They have a second-round pick and 2/3. One of those is a projected compensatory pick in the 3rd round. So that's 2, 4, 5 players in the first 3 rounds of the draft. Those 5 players have to be starters for you next year, bar none. And I don't know if there's anything that you can do to try to get more picks. Like, I don't know if you want to trade one of your really building blocks, like
Taylor Decker,
Hawkinson, or Ragnow, any of these, because nobody on an 0-7 team
is untradeable.
0-8. What are they? 0-8? 0-8?
Yeah.
Nobody's untouchable. I'm sorry. DeAndre Swift is not untouchable, I don't think. So
he isn't, but I think that the core of the Detroit Lions right now, if let's just say everyone was healthy, the core is going to be the offensive line. So you got to start somewhere. You got to start with some foundation piece, and that's going to be the foundation piece for the Detroit Lions. The fact that you have Ragnow, the fact that you have Penei Sewell, the fact that you have Taylor Decker. So I agree with you, but at the same time, you got to keep that line tight. You got to keep, because that's what's going to be protecting if you draft a quarterback next year. If Jared Goff is the guy for you, when Slay as well, not Slay, thinking about Slay, but with Swift and Jamal Williams, that's going to be to shore that up. You got to keep them. Anybody else is on, but not the line.
Let me ask you in a different way about a deal today. Would you try to trade, and you're not going to mortgage your future, but would you trade? You got a 6th. You've got 2 7ths this year. You've got 2 6ths next year. Would you try to flip one of those picks for some sort of player that could help you win a game this year? Because I'm not sure where you find a win.
Yeah,
you got to find a win.
I'm not a GM. I'm not in the front office. I'm not an owner. But just like watching and observing, like I understand that you're setting yourself up for next year. You're setting up for the 2022 draft. You're setting up for the identity that you hope to accomplish and you hope to build here. With that being said, though, are you trying to just sacrifice this year? Are you planning on going 0-17? Like, do you not want to win a game or two so that you can show the fans you want to win? Like, and I understand that you've been close in some games, but you just haven't gotten it done. You can create some Band-Aids. Like Band-Aids, and what I mean by Band-Aid is a temporary solution, it's a temporary fix. Like Cam Newton's out there for $1 million. Like, you could have got him weeks ago. Golden Tate is out there as well. There's some players that you can pick up just to help you through this season. There's nothing wrong with that to fight. I know some people are like, well, if we're not going to win it all, or then we might as well not win a game and get the best pick. Newsflash, man, that's terrible.
I was opposed to the Cam Newton signing weeks earlier.
Yeah.
Now I'm not. Because if you are going to suggest that David Blau cannot play for you, I mean, if you're just going to let Jared Goff go out there and just play miserable and throw the ball away on 4th down, I mean, why don't you just throw it up towards the end zone? If it gets picked off, it gets picked off. Who cares? At least maybe you get a PI down there or something like that. Why are you throwing the ball away out of bounds on a 4th down? Jared Goff is not a good quarterback. 0-15 when he's got a coach other than Sean McVay. I mean, that's just ridiculous. And you may say that he's got no help, but at the same time, he's not helping anybody else be better out there either.
Yeah, you look at his efficiency, and his efficiency will trick you because, he has a couple interceptions in there, but the efficiency, the QBR is actually up. His QBR is around like 94. It's around like 92, 93 area. So it'll trick you, but he just doesn't make the throws that he's supposed to. He can't get the ball to where it needs to be on a consistent basis. Hey, look, backup quarterbacks are in thing right now in the NFL. You look at what Mark White did for the Jets. You look at what Geno Smith is doing for Seattle.
Seahawks,
you see Cooper Rush. Now, obviously, they have more talent available to them that they're working with, but that's where an individual like Cam Newton is going to come in and give you that extra edge. Like, no, Cam's not MVP Cam, but Cam's still a guy that knows how to compete at the highest level, and he can run the ball as well as pass the ball, as well as bring some more energy, bring some excitement. You talked about shaking things up, when you played the Rams, and you did that with the onside kicks. You did that with the fake punt. Shake it up with the roster, for heaven's sake.
When Troy Weaver took over for the Detroit Pistons, he just came in and blew that thing right up.
Man.
And I'm not saying that we're judging Brad Holmes here through one draft and one free agent signing of Trinity Benson or trade, which they gave up a 5th-round pick. Now they're left with no 5th-round picks in this year's draft. They do have Trinity Benson, who can't seem to get on the field for the Lions, even dress in the majority of games. I think he was on the active roster last week, but nonetheless, you can't miss on these things, and the more draft picks you have, the better it is. But I don't believe you can go down a road where you have no wins, where you're going 0-17 year in and year out. That just doesn't work.
Yeah, 0-17 is 0-17. Like, that is what it looks like. It's awful. It's terrible. And if you get to that point, now obviously we're not going to be calling for Dan Campbell's head, because we understood that it was going to be a 2 to 3 year model, a 2 to 3 year program, a rebuild, as they say. But 0-17 is tough. Like, when you look at 0-17, you don't even have to be a fan or understand the game. Look at 0-17, be like, man, they got to change everything. What are they doing? That's what 0-17 looks like, and that's the reality of it. So you want to get a couple wins, because it's not going to be anything like getting that first win, getting that monkey off your back, getting some of the fans and the analysts like us off your back. And if you can't do that, if you can't achieve that, I feel like then it's make or break with the draft next year. It's make or break. So,
yeah, and when it becomes that, Braylon, too, you can't miss on anything, which is a big problem.
No wiggle room.
There is no wiggle room. I want to get to so we'll see. We'll keep an eye on this trade deadline situation with the Detroit Lions and with the NFL.
They're not doing anything. We can report that now.
And the Lions may not do anything, but I don't know if there's going to be much activity left. I mean, the Packers, I would think, need a tight end. Robert Tonyan went down.
Need a linebacker.
Crucial spot for Aaron Rodgers' offense, the tight end position.
Tonyan was his number 2 receiver so far this year.
We were talking about Deshaun Watson. We mentioned it earlier. I mean, if he's not traded now, he could have been traded yesterday, Monday, last week, a month ago. He's not going anywhere, and I just don't understand what the end game is with the Houston Texans there. I mean, why you would just leave him on your bench, even if it comes up, Braylon, where he is able to play and cleared of all charges. And don't you feel like there is just way too much smoke there? He'll never play another game for the Houston Texans.
I just feel like it's punishment. I feel like they were very upset that he wanted to leave. They were upset when these things came out. Like, I don't know how true they are. I don't know. Neither of us do. We're all just listening to information. We're waiting and we're speculating. But I think it's punishment. It's like, oh, you wanted to leave us. You want to get out of here after 5 years, regardless of what we are. You want to talk about the organization. You want to agree with DeAndre Hopkins in the public eye, talking about how bad of a franchise we are. We're punishing you. They're not going to move him. What they're doing is called punishment. They're like, we suck. We know we suck. We don't care that we suck. We're going to punish you. We're going to punish you, and we're going to keep this thing going until everything is over with. So that's why I think with the Houston Texans franchise organization, they're just punishing Deshaun Watson. They have no implications on trading or playing at all when it comes to him.
Speaking of punishment, I feel like it's punishment to talk about the Michigan Wolverines a little bit. For me, just for us, after that loss to Michigan State last week, we're going to talk to one of the best Michigan Wolverines ever to play for the program. Jamie Morris, certainly one of the greatest running backs to play for the Michigan Wolverines. We'll do that next. This is Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
Hey gang, want to tell you about Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Let's be honest, we like simple stuff like football 5 days a week. You get it 6 days a week now with Maxton, baby.
There we go. I remember that time, Maxton.
We like things uncomplicated as well, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. All you got to do, walk in, sign in, sit down, and before you know it, you are handsome and clean. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It is wicked awesome.
Wicked awesome.
Oh, there you go. I got that today. Good job, Braylon. Very good, very good, very good. Okay, so we're going to be joined by Jamie Morris momentarily. Former Michigan Wolverine running back. One of the, when he left Michigan, and for a long time, he held the rushing record.
Yeah.
For the program
until 2000.
It worked for the university as well, and now hosts a show, the M Zone, on WTKA. So we'll talk to Jamie Morris. But now that we've had a couple of, another 24-hour period to kind of sit back and look at that, you look ahead here at the Michigan Wolverines and the college football playoff selection show. The college football rankings come out tonight. They're first. So it'll be interesting to see where Michigan State ranks. It'll be interesting to see just where these teams fall in and of itself, 1 through 9, 10. It'll be interesting to see where's Cincinnati going to fall.
It's going to be interesting. Where's Cincinnati fall early on? Do they move them down the list early to get people used to them being down the list, or do they show them love and they wait for things to play out so that they can bump Cincinnati in the end, depending on conference championships, etc.? It's going to be interesting. Where does Michigan fall? 1 loss. Where does Wake Forest fall? Undefeated in the ACC. It's some interesting games, interesting teams out there. It's going to be interesting to see where they place a lot of these teams, because it's a lot of things left on the table left in this season. You usually by this time you still have like your 6 or 7 guys, and it's going to be between these. Now, man, it's pretty much an open format with the exception of Georgia and MSU.
You look at Alabama, Ohio State, Oregon, Notre Dame, Michigan, all teams with 1 loss. 17 of the past 28 playoff teams have had 1 loss. So all of these teams are certainly not out of it. How many 1-loss teams will be ahead of Cincinnati, if any? So that is going to be something that you just wait and see. You don't know. See, there's 2 ways to look at it. Most deserving and who do you think is the best? Because I think the top 3 teams in the country, Georgia, Alabama, and Ohio State, those to me are the best 3 teams in the country. Will that work out like that tonight? Will it go Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State, 1, 2, 3? I have no idea. They may put Cincinnati 2. We just don't know.
It definitely has to do with who you feel is the better team, and they really judge off the eye test, so they say, year after year. But I think this early, putting Ohio State in would be later on. For me, you have to put Michigan State over them, because when you look at Michigan State, they played the team that was number 6 in the country that was also undefeated in Michigan. They beat them. So you look at them, they have a win against the number 6 team in the country, and it was undefeated when they played. Ohio State doesn't have that. And technically at this point right now, Michigan State is number 1 in the conference. And so I can't put Ohio State over Michigan State just off that.
I think what the rankings will be tonight, and I think you can easily put the Spartans
2.
You could put the Spartans 2, but you could certainly put them in the top 4.
Yeah.
Look, Cincinnati went on the road and beat Notre Dame, which is a 1-loss Notre Dame team. That appears to be a good win. That's a really good win right now.
But then they almost lose to Navy a couple games ago. And then they almost lose last week. Like, they're not – when you're playing – when you're Cincinnati or when you're Central Florida, because this happened in Central Florida 4 or 5 years ago, you have to blow teams out. You have to show something super special, and Cincinnati just isn't doing that right now.
We are going to jump back into the college football playoff rankings. We'll do that in a little bit, but want to bring him in right now. One of the greatest Michigan football players of all time, Jamie Morris, our good friend of the program. Jamie, my friend, how are you, buddy?
What's up, Ryan? What's up, Braylon? How y'all doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. You're looking thin over there, man. Looking in shape. I see the room, the wall. You got like the poetry lighting set up. Look at you over there, man.
Yeah. You know, a pandemic could get you all the time. Plus, if you have a baby during a pandemic, you can either sit and get fat or you just work out with the baby.
Oh man, Jamie. So are you getting
we know
any?
You chose the latter.
You getting any sleep over there then?
I'm getting sleep now. He's now 15 months old, so we are getting sleep. He's a good baby too. Good baby sleep, long time. I hear him upstairs, and his mother's getting him. He's been sleeping for 3.5 hours.
That's awesome.
You definitely weren't getting sleep when I talked to you last year. I do remember that.
No, I wasn't.
I do recall.
Jamie hosts a show now on WTKA in Ann Arbor from 3 to 6, the M Zone. Jamie, let's jump right into it. Your takeaway from Michigan's loss, 37-33 at Michigan State this past Saturday.
Well, everybody talks about the 3 phases of football. There's actually 4 phases of football, and it's offense, defense, special teams, and coaching. And we failed as a coaching. We got beat. Our players played their hearts out. And I'm sorry to say, I like this young staff that we have. I like what these coaches bring. They bring the energy. They are guys that take no prisoner guys. They're guys that are going to be future head coaches someday. But that being said, we got beat in the coaching area, and we got beat pretty bad. And we prepared a team. It seemed like we prepared a team for 45 minutes, and Michigan State was preparing for 60 minutes, and they outslugged us.
Yeah.
Jamie, is there anything glaring as far as the coaching goes to you? I mean, those the 3 times that Michigan State kind of caught us switching defensive players in and out when we weren't ready. Was there anything that jumped out to you? And we mentioned the coaching, and we got to jump into it. Just, Braylon talked about it last week. Another loss for Harbaugh in these big games, in these big moments. It's at some point, what do you do?
Well, I mean, I'm going to let the season play out for Jim Harbaugh, but he's got a good team. They just didn't. It's like Michigan State took the time that they had off their bye week, and they studied. Again, they had 1 week, and then they played Michigan the next week. Michigan had a game. I thought that would get them ready to play. They said that they spent time on Michigan. Apparently, they didn't spend enough time on Michigan State because Michigan State was ready to play. And I get it. It was at East Lansing. You're going to East Lansing in front of a ruckus crowd going against you. But hey, this is why you come to Michigan to play in games like this. And you can't win. You can't lose games like that. And Jim Harbaugh has been a part of the Michigan program for years, and he knows what he needs to do and things like.
Do we still have you there, buddy?
No.
We are going through a little. Oh, there we go. I think we got you back, Jamie.
I'm sorry.
Got you back. Yeah.
My daughter's. But go ahead.
I don't know. Speaking of Jim Harbaugh knowing what to do, let's talk about the fact that, he changed his coaching staff up a lot this offseason. You kind of touched on it a little bit. You had Mike Hart. You had Coach Klink. You had Ron Bellamy, West Bloomfield High School coach and state champion winner. And you see the change. Harbaugh has been very stubborn in the ways in which he ran the program, the ways in which he was very open to the players. And now he's changed. He's open to the players. They're having fun. Just talk about the energy that is Michigan right now. Obviously, they lost to Michigan State. But the energy has changed. It seems like Harbaugh's having some fun with it.
No, he's having a great time with it. The coaches are doing a great job. The new coaches have brought in some new ideas. Jim Harbaugh has been a meaning to them. He lets those coaches have – they play music during practice the whole time. They have a council, an upperclassman council that makes the decisions on what uniforms they'll wear. Usually it's the head coach that used to make the decisions on the uniforms. It's the players. They decided to wear the maize pants this past Michigan State game. So you've got a lot of new ideas, and Jim's been really straightforward with it, and he likes it, and he's got a lot of energy. You see it, and I see it. He's the Jim Harbaugh of old, but he's caring for his players, and he's showing that he loves them, just like these coaches do. These coaches are telling them, where have you heard someone say it, I love you, as a person, not just a player?
Yeah, no, that's 100% real. Jamie, you've been a running back. You have a Michigan record for a long time. You love watching running backs. You love watching the success. And Michigan has had some good ones. Talk about Haskins and Corum and their duality in the backfield and what makes them, arguably leading the nation's leading rushing attack before last week at Michigan State.
Thunder and lightning. Love these guys. They're really good. Haskins, a very quiet young man who just goes about his business. He's a very strong. He gains yards after he gets hit, and he keeps rolling. And that's what you like in that young man. He's a quiet leader. Jim Harbaugh just let everyone know that with Ronnie Bell not being able to go out on the field as a captain, they also made Haskins a captain. And then there's Blake Corum. Blake Corum, probably pound for pound the strongest man in Michigan football history. He is a straightforward wannabe star, a budding star. He wants to play. Braylon, he works out more than you. And I can't say that about
What?
I can't say that about a lot of people. So if I'm saying it, guess what? That young man is done. He is something
I believe it.
Talking to Jamie Morris, former Michigan Wolverine running back, also hosts a show on the M Zone, WTKA in Ann Arbor. Jamie,
I know all about that show.
If I can go back here, how should Michigan fans feel about Jim Harbaugh and what to do moving forward? Now, I understand everything, in my opinion, and correct me if I'm wrong, is still in front of them. I mean, you still got Penn State, you still got Ohio State. There's a long way to go here. However, how should Michigan fans feel about the Michigan football program under Jim Harbaugh?
Well, I guess they should feel excited because nobody saw a 7-0 start. Coming. They were just worried about what was going to happen. So really, you should feel good about Jim Harbaugh because of the changes that he's done to his coaching staff, because of the things that he's set forth in the future. I think Jim Harbaugh wants to be the coach at Michigan. He knows what it takes to be the coach at Michigan. He knows what comes with being the coach at Michigan. He really didn't understand it, I think, in the beginning. He was the anointed one. He was the one that he was going to get it done. And that's a lot of pressure to come in under. I think now he's got a coaching staff that he's put together, a very diverse coaching staff that the kids love, that the parents love. And I think they show Jim that they love him and he loves them back.
Jamie, if he loses to Penn State and Ohio State, does he come back next year?
Well, I think he's going to have to take a long look in the mirror. I know that. That's going to be tough. I got him going 3-1 these next 4 games.
Yeah, I'm in the same mind. I have 3-1 as well, and I think he's done enough. I think what happened when Ward Manuel as well as Jim Harbaugh, when they restructured his contract, when they took him from 7.3 and brought him down to 4.3, and that but they do have incentives in there. They do have some escalators. I think when they did that, that let him know what was on the line, what was on the table, what they thought of him, and what he, and his resume for so far what he's done. Then you come out like Jamie said, you go 7-0. No one expected that. You lost a game to a really good Michigan State team, and you, like you said, Ryan, you have everything left in front of you. I think this season already he's bought himself another year. I think that you don't want to bring in this good coaching staff and heat it up. Like everything's heated up. It's starting to go the way of Clemson. It's starting to go the way of Ohio State in terms of looseness, young guys that understand the culture, coaching these young kids. It's starting to go that way. You don't want to pull a Rich Rod. You don't want to pull a Brady Hoke where you took those guys out before they really were about to make that last step. You don't want to do that. He's been here long enough now where he's already passed it.
That's kind of how I feel about it.
So don't take it away from him now. So I think that's where I'm at with Harbaugh.
You agree with that, Jamie?
I totally agree with that. I mean, look, this staff has been a tremendous staff, and they're just getting started. Why would you want to pull the plug on a great staff like this? These are go-getters. The average age is 35. Come on.
You put me on the staff.
Look, and I think that's where I'm at too, in line with Braylon, and sounds like in line with you. These guys feel like, and maybe this is the sickness of being a Michigan fan, it looks like we're right there on the cusp. One more year, right?
Yeah, but it looks like a legit on the cusp though. Like it doesn't. In the past we've been on the cusp, but it's more so like it's just some great players, and we're beating some average teams. And when we're playing the teams that matter, we lose. This one feels totally different. This one really feels like, oh, you know what? They're right there.
Jamie, last thing before I know you got a show coming up in 20 minutes on your own. College football playoff selection or rankings tonight. How's your top 4 look?
It's Georgia, Alabama, Cincinnati, and then I would say it'll be tight. I'm gonna actually give it to Oklahoma right now.
Yeah.
Oklahoma's the forgotten team, right?
I like that quarterback.
Caleb Williams. Yeah, Caleb Williams is a beast. Yeah. I mean, I think you have to look at it from winning and losing. You have to look at it from strength of schedule, how you win, who should be there. Because the way I look at it right now, I got Georgia, MSU, Oklahoma, and OSU. And I know OSU lost to Oregon. I don't care. Because the eye test tells me that O State is real. The eye test tells me that nobody behind Ohio State wants to play Ohio State. So I got Ohio State, Oklahoma, MSU, and Georgia.
Remember, Oregon, they lost that game against Stanford because Joe Moorhead was in the hospital.
So that's a loss that maybe would have went a different way, right?
Yeah, you take soul into
you take injury into account. You take injury into account for sure.
Take that into account. They win the Pac-12. It could be some dangers there. I mean, Ohio State may not get in because they beat head-to-head Ohio. They beat Oregon, Ohio State.
Yeah, it'll certainly be interesting. I mean, if Ohio State, if Ohio State runs the table, beats Michigan State, beats Penn State, Michigan State, and Michigan, there's no way they're getting kept out. Cincinnati, an unbeaten Cincinnati team is out the window.
Hit the bricks.
Hey, Jamie, thanks so much. We appreciate it. WTKA. In Ann Arbor, 3 to 6. Check them out. Jamie Morris, the End Zone. Yes, thanks. Your dad brought up Jamie Samuelson yesterday, so he was in my head. Thanks, Jamie Morris. We appreciate it, bud.
J-Mo, good talking to you, brother.
You got it.
As always.
So, Braylon, that's
I've known Jamie a very long time. I
bet. Yeah, it's good. Hey, I want to react to something he said about Michigan, and you said about Michigan, and you put exactly my thoughts into words.
We're connected.
And I was not able to do that, but you nailed it.
We're connected.
Gonna let you know next. Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network. The bottom line.
You know why realtors love using Hall Financial as a lender? Because of our commitment to speed and service. We have nearly 4,000 5-star reviews already. Call today, 248-308-5000, or go to callhallfirst.com.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
A new career in an industry that is always essential. Ladies and gentlemen, I am talking about the heating and cooling industry. Learn more now, today, by visiting northwesterntech.edu. Northwesterntech.edu. $77,000 right out of the gate. Better take your butt to school.
That's right. Hey, you know what my first salary was?
$15,500
was my first salary in media. Good old 9 and 10 News
You
up
couldn't
in
put
Cadillac,
gas.
Michigan.
You couldn't put gas in your car with that
No,
right now.
we could not.
Not today.
You nailed it perfectly. How I feel about the whole Jim Harbaugh. Will he come back? Did he earn himself one more year? I feel because this staff is so new and so invigorating and just infused life into this program, he bought himself one more year. Regardless of what happens. Now, you lose to Indiana, you lose to Maryland, and then you lose the rest of the way, we can talk.
Right.
But, can you go 3-1 down the stretch? A 10-2 where you lose to Michigan State and Ohio State? You got one more year. I mean, I think that's earned the right to come back for one more year.
And Brady Quinn talked about the very first time he came on the show. He talked about what Brian Kelly had to do after having that year. I think he went 4-8. I think he had a year he went 4-8, and he had to figure out, what's the next step? And a lot of times the biggest thing is when you have older coaches, they're stuck in their ways. They're stubborn. It's hard for them to adapt. It's hard for them to change if that's never been how they are. And Brian Kelly, according to, and you see it, what he was able to do with that program, turn it around, go to the playoff a couple times, be ranked, go undefeated. And I think that's what you're seeing with Harbaugh is he changed the staff around. He got the younger guys, just like Brian Kelly got younger guys on his coaching staff that could really dial into what these players. These guys are 35 on the coaching staff. They're on Instagram.
Right.
They're listening to some of the same music. They watch the NFL and they see some of the highlights and things of that nature. So they understand what these kids are thinking about. They understand their thought process and their mental to the game, so they can teach it to them a lot better than, let's say, in some older situations. So the fact that he's able to do that, he's changed it around in Ann Arbor, and you're seeing it, like you talk about the jump around piece at Wisconsin, just having a great time, hugging Cade after the win at Nebraska.
Do you think the majority of Michigan fans, I know there's some, want Jim Harbaugh? It's a
great environment right now.
Want Jim Harbaugh to stay? Or want Jim Harbaugh to go? Because we're already talking as if they've lost to Penn State and they've lost to Ohio State. And just because they lost on the road at at Michigan State, and just because they haven't beaten Ohio State ever under Jim Harbaugh, and the record is what the record is, I don't believe that has any indication what happens on the field, that Saturday after Thanksgiving.
I think the nation wants Jim Harbaugh to win in Michigan. They always have. Everyone around the country was excited for Jim to come back to the University of Michigan, where it all began for him. Everyone around the nation wants him to win. The regents, the people that hired Jim Harbaugh, the people that are paying his salary, they want Jim Harbaugh to win so they can say we were right. Took some time, but we were right. We got there. The fans, everybody in the stadiums or watching at home, they want Jim Harbaugh to win because they've been swept into, Team Jordan and Jordan Brand and Jabril Peppers and, Harbaugh when he first came in and the signing of the stars. Everybody has jumped on since day one with him. And the people that want Jim Harbaugh out of here, they only want him out of here because he didn't have the type of success that they thought he was going to have in the beginning. So they want him to have success too.
Right.
Everybody wants Jim Harbaugh to win at Michigan, and I think he stays, and I think he can feel that.
And again, there's a long way to go.
Yeah.
And whether you think that Michigan is going to win or they're not going to win,
right.
I don't know. Right, you're right. Yeah, you're right. We'll get into the Michigan State Spartans coming up in the 3 o'clock hour. Hour number 2 as well. With that first ranking came out. Braylon's got Michigan State as the number 2 ranked team behind Georgia right now.
Big Ten is the second best conference in football. Michigan State's undefeated, and they beat a team in Michigan that was undefeated, that was ranked 6th at the time. How couldn't you have them in there?
We will see and talk to Darius Slay, Big Play Slay, coming up in about 12 minutes from now. But coming up next, we are going to take a deep dive into our Chill Out segment. Oh my gosh,
it's been a minute.
I cannot believe it's been this long. So we'll do it next. Segment we like to call
Man, Chill Out.
Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand.
Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10 and a half months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate
of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Hey gang, everybody knows if offense wins games, defense wins championships. Don't you want to be the championship defender to your home? Of course you do. And in order to do that, you might want to let Guardian Alarm help you. They've been your local security experts for over 90 years. They do everything. Control your lights, temperatures. You can control your lights, your temperatures, 24/7 local monitoring. They got everything. Detect smoke, carbon monoxide, even going to let you lock or unlock your doors remotely. Whatever the case may be, just go ahead and give them a call if you want to learn more. You guys ready? You ready for the number?
I'm ready,
Everybody,
stay out.
1-800-STAY-OUT. That number again. 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Stay out of my house.
Get away. Stay out. Get out. Guardian Alarm, your local security experts for over 90 years.
I tell you what, they don't even need a Guardian Alarm. All you need is just like a video recorded of us just saying "stay out" and just play it every time somebody comes to the
Somebody
door.
gets close, you hear us say "stay out, stay out."
The people at Guardian, I can confirm that they actually loved that we did that because you guys inspired me. I do it on all 3 shows now.
Oh, good.
And they actually changed the graphic to say "stay out," and they're going to start implementing things with "stay out" on it. So, good job, bottom line.
It sounds like a check. Sounds like a check being cut.
Right.
I mean, where's the check being cut?
Hey,
Come on, I'm trying to get Alex Fish, you, Ryan, myself. I'm trying to get us paid, man. Come on, Guardian.
Very good.
Stay out.
Let's go, Guardian. Stay out. That is so funny. Now, this has been a minute. If you've listened to our show over the last couple of months, one of the fun things we kind of instituted was a Man Chill Out segment. Braylon, if you want to explain to the people what the idea behind Man Chill Out was.
So basically, if any video, any clip, any comment, anything that you see that you don't agree with, that you think is BS, that you think is preposterous, that you just don't understand how it could be, you got to say, man, chill out.
Right, because one of your buddies used to say it like that.
Oh, my boy Mel Smitty, when I was at King High School, he'd say, man, chill out, chill out. Like, I give you an example of a man, chill out. In the Michigan State game, they overturned the sack fumble for a touchdown for Michigan. That would have been a man, chill out. Like, if we were doing man, chill out the other day.
Man, chill out.
That would have been a man, chill out.
You know, Alex doing
Go
that.
Green!
Hey, Alex, man, chill out.
See? Him rubbing it in my face. Man, chill out.
It's that easy. So here we go, guys. It's the segment we like to call
Man, chill out.
You think it's funny?
Chill, buddy.
Pack your bags, get the hell off. Now, do you understand what you did?
Daddy, chill.
What the hell is even that?
All right, so this is a beautiful story. Do you want me to go or do you want to go?
Go ahead, by all means. You already jumped into it.
Oh, man, I'm all over this story.
He's lathering up.
In the world of dumbest things you'll hear today. So, Illinois star Kofi Cockburn. What?
That's not how you say it.
Yeah, that's not his actual name.
Well, how do you say it?
Kofi Cockburn.
Yeah, it's Cockburn.
Hey, man, you got to do your homework, man. You got to do your homework.
What? It says Cockburn.
Yeah, it does. You're not wrong.
Definitely did say Cockburn.
Put the tweet up again.
That's not how you say it, though.
That's how it's spelled.
That's how it's spelled, but
So
you
it's
pronounce
spelled-
it Coburn.
Well, it's Cockburn to me. All right.
Excuse me.
Excuse me, Kofi. Kofi Cockburn. I've never been good with names. You guys know this guy?
I mean, we know his name's not Cockburn. That's all we know.
Kofi Cockburn. Kofi Cockburn. Okay? The NCAA.
Get through it, man.
Has suspended Kofi Cockburn for the first 3 games of the season because he sold apparel and memorabilia before the new regulations to allow student athletes to participate in the money-making ventures known as the NIL, name, image, likeness. So he sold this memorabilia in June. The state of Illinois regulations for NIL went into effect July 1. Come on.
That is
seriously this is as petty as we all know the NCAA is petty.
This is another level of petty.
So this young man sold the items in June. July 1 is the date where it becomes legal. I think this is one of the most ridiculous things you will hear today, and just one of the many reasons why I'm so happy the NCAA has kind of lost power.
Yeah.
They've lost power, and it's because things like this, where you abuse power, it's so nice when people who have abused their power for so long begin to lose it. The NCAA, man, chill out.
Yeah, that's some BS, because you can already tell that. For the people out there that are going to say the law was the law and the rules were the rule, yes, I understand that. But now to that, shut up. Because at the end of the day, you know that they said that they were going to pass this, the NIL in Illinois. They probably stated that in May. They probably stated in April, and it was a done deal. So he decided to, hey, well, it's June. I need some money. I sell some memorabilia. I mean, they're passing it next month anyway. It's already a slam dunk. He goes out there and sells it, and then you get him on a technicality. Like, really?
Is this
so
what we're
ridiculous.
doing?
Is this what we're doing out here?
Right.
You're that upset that some power has been taken from you, and now kids are getting paid, and you can't control that anymore. So now you got to punish the couple right at the cusp. Yeah, man. NCAA, I need better from you.
And seriously, for what? I mean, for what? So dumb.
I need better from you. Mine's a little more fun, a little more light. If you got that video, throw that video on. See my man Russell Westbrook, as Skip Bayless calls him.
Oh my!
But the best part is turn the audio up and listen to the commentators.
Westbrook for the mid. Oh my God! Wow.
Oh my God, Air Bank. So the man chill out isn't the commentators. I thought they were amazing. I thought that they were great. The man chill out is Russell Westbrook. Like, I stole that from Skip. I love Russell. I was the biggest Russell fan, especially during his, I guess he still kept it going last year. He averaged a triple-double. But it hasn't been a good fit thus far, and I know it's early into the Lakers' experiment with Russell Westbrook. I can't stop saying
now you're saying
with Russell Westbrook, as well as LeBron James and AD, it just hasn't fit. Russell can't find his shot. He's settling for way more threes, and he's the worst point guard shooter of the three-point shot in the NBA. And that's the stuff that you see like that. Guys don't miss like that. Like, what you see out of that shot, that type of miss, that tells you I don't have any confidence, much like we talked about Jared Goff. I'm struggling to figure out my place in this offense, which will come. It will get better. He's not going to shoot better, but his shot selection will change, because LeBron's 1 for 19 right now from the three-point line as well. So, but man, chill out, Russell Westbrook. You need to just start driving to the hole and get layups.
Right.
That's ugly.
Hey, we're going to take an early break 15 seconds from now, because we've got our guy, Big Play Slay, Darius Slay on the line. We're going to be joined by him coming up in about 15 seconds from now. This is Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Fellas, football season is here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Player, broadcaster, our former colleague at Fox, who passed away at the age of 68.
Look at this. Pick it up, Darius.
Ball comes loose.
Get it, Darius.
And it will be taken.
Score, Darius. Yeah. Touchdown, Lions. Oh, wait. Eagles.
He used to saying touchdown Lions.
How good did that feel? How good did that feel for number 2, Darius Slay? We welcome in Big Play Slay, now one of the most liked Lions of the past 20 years. Darius Slay.
Ever.
Big Play Slay, thanks so much for the time on your day off, man. Thanks so much. We appreciate it.
Hey, man, appreciate y'all, man.
Slay, man, always good to have a wide receiver and a DB in the room. You know what I'm saying? You could just feel the energy. But I want to start by asking you a question, man. Like, how did it feel to score in your return to Detroit? Because like Ryan said, there's so much love for you as a player. You were loved in the community, you know, and an idiot is a reason why you're no longer here. But how was it scoring and winning, you know, back here?
Man, it felt great, man. You know, seeing the end zone, man, definitely. Sure, I ain't got too many of them, so it was always a blessing to see that. But it was fun, man. Definitely being back in Detroit, man. Then having my first touchdown as an Eagle in Detroit, man. So it was pretty good, man. I loved it.
Hey, Darius, I want to ask you, too, just before we go back, I just want to talk about Sunday. To see Ford Field with 47,000 fans, almost half empty, to see the paper bags of Lions fans, how far were you guys under Jim Caldwell to where this thing has gone now? Just how far Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn have essentially devastated this franchise. What was that like for you, just to see? I mean, is there a little bit of sadness there for Lions fans to see how far it's fallen?
Oh man, definitely, man. You know, but as of right now, man, you know they turning it around, man. Their team just young right now, man. They building, trying to be become competitors and stuff like that right now. So they building their team right now, but. From what Caldwell had, man, Caldwell had a great thing going for Detroit, man. You know, had great leadership, had great veterans in the room, had a good mixture of young guys, older guys together. And it was building, man. Like I said, 2 out of 5 times, man, been to the playoffs. Shoot, man, 2 out of 4, honestly. You know, half his year being in the playoff, and he had, like I said, he had a great thing going, man. I know Coach, they just kind of wanted to get us over the hump. But, you know, Caldwell was getting us over the hump, and you know, so but. You know, it is what it is, though. But, man, like I always hope for the best for them boys, though, over there.
Much appreciated. Talking to Darius Slay, 3-time Pro Bowler in 2017, first-team All-Pro, 8 interceptions, 26 pass deflections. Now you're in Philadelphia with the Eagles. Talk to me about Jalen Hurts. Like I've watched some games, and I've seen some success. I've seen some failures. I've seen what I believe that Sirianni is putting a little too much on Jalen Hurts. I could be wrong. Do you think he's long-term or short-term? What was your assessment of that?
Long-term, man, for sure, man. He works hard, man. People don't see what he does in the building, man. He first one in the building, last one out. Willing to do whatever it takes to be to help his team win. That's what he do first, man. He put the team first. And as a quarterback, man, that's good for that to do that. And he leads by example, man. He come to work every day and come to go to work hard. And he just learning. You know, it's only a year or two. If we don't know what his future brings, but you know, he just like Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson. You know, coming out when he was in year 2, took his team to the playoffs. You know, out behind a great defense, speed, got extended plays. You know, always want to use his legs, as you see now. Russell Wilson grow. You know, use his legs as much as now, but you know, he young, man. He just trying to find his way into this league.
I want to ask you another question. I know I mentioned 2017 was all-pro year for you, but then you rattled off two more Pro Bowls in a row. Talk about what that first year was like to get to that level, because I mean, you know, for me it was my 3rd year in the league. I had a big season and made the Pro Bowl, and then it kind of goes from there in terms of you being a veteran and being experienced. Just talk about how 17 kind of just like sent you to that place, and you were able to continue every year after.
Oh man, just. Working hard, man. I got great leaders in my room. I had Rasheem Mathis, Global Quinn, guys that just kept pushing me each and every day, man. They saw more than me than I saw myself at an early age. So, I was just out there going to work, man. Next thing you know, to start catching the rock. You know, at first I wasn't catching a lot of picks. That's why I got so many PBUs. I could have probably made way more Pro Bowls if I catch the ball, but. Back then, man, the ball was coming too fast, and I couldn't see it because that strike wasn't there. So I just knock it down because I didn't want nobody to catch it. But as I got older, man, the ball got slower. I could see it clearer, catching it. And I was just in the right position a lot of times, too, just making the plays I need to make. And that was really the easy way about it. That's just being in the right position.
Yeah, the reason that ball got slower at these slaves is because you started doing more film study. You know how it is when you do film study, because you were able to know it was coming before the ball even got released. That's why things slowed down. Your butt was in that film study room.
Got to be. You know, like I said, Sheena made sure I stay on top of everything.
Yeah.
Talking to Darius Slay, former Lion, now currently with the Philadelphia Eagles. Just a great performance by the Eagles this week in Detroit. 44-6 was the final. Lions fall to 0-8. And really, Darius, since you left here, everything was just kind of devastated. The franchise just kind of fell apart. You know, when you see the success that you're having in Philadelphia or Matt Stafford's having in L.A. right now, just as you look around and you see the former players that leave this team, this organization, find success elsewhere. Well, what is it about Detroit that seems like you just can't put it together?
Shoot, man. Honestly, I think it's just because it got a lot to do with the upstairs, maybe. Because you got to keep some guys together. Like when I was in 2014, when we was like the number 2 defense in the league, there's no way that defense should have kind of like separated. We were still young. We was young in the back end. They paid Glover already. Glover had his money. We had Nick Fairley and Sue up to do a contract. There's no way them 2 guys should have been going, in my opinion, just because of the fact that they were just so dominant in the game. You had great linebackers, DeAndre Levy, Tellett, So, we had the team building, So it was going in the right direction. So I felt as in, the upstairs had, with a lot of money issue. Sometimes you just got to let it ride because, you win the defense. I mean, you win championships with defense. And we had the defense to do it. So I think they should have just, paid Nick Fairley, Sue. We had Jason Jones, a young guy, Ziggy in year 2. So they had long time to pay somebody. I was year 2. So they had time to, move cap money and all kind of stuff. But, man, I wish it would have stayed like that. But, how the business side of it. But it seemed to be, though, it is kind of true that Lions players do go off somewhere else and ball out. So
Darius,
kind of crazy.
I was with Jason Jones in Seattle,
right?
so definitely.
No doubt. Darius, how quickly did you know when Matt Patricia stepped on the field that this was not a good fit here in Detroit, that this was not going to work? How quick was that?
Well, it wasn't as in that, like I knew from the jump. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a team player. I do whatever the team need to be done. And, I just, like I say, he always kind of just approached it the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? I could take coaching. It's never nothing with me. You could get on me if I ain't doing my job or that. But, like, he was just, to me, to a lot of us, man, he was real disrespectful as another man to another man. And I was, like, the guys that got out of there, like me, Quandre, Snacks.
Can I ask you about Quandre? I mean, when he got traded, I think we were all blindsided by that. What was your reaction to that?
I was crazy. It was like, it was just wild, because you just paid him the year before, just extended him. So, what did you need to trade your guy for? He's a future, he having great years in Seattle. Right now, 17 career picks. Doing what he got done. I think he just set a little thing for just having 3 picks in the last 5 years. The only player that just did that. So they paid him because they saw a bright future, and I don't know why they let him go. So it was just all about control. What guys can he control the group? What guys can he run over? What guys he could just tell what to do and they don't got nothing to say. And that's why, like I said, me, Snacks, and Quandre was the ones out because of the fact that you wouldn't go just talk to us any kind of way. And so that was really most of the part of what really was going on in the building.
Yeah, at the end of the day, people forget that we're grown men. Like, grown men, right. You have families, you have kids, you have a wife. Like, you can't talk to us any type of way just because you hold the mantle of coach or GM. But I'm gonna show you some love because I see the picture in the back. I see Weiss and Bears, and I see Broly, but I see my man D Slay in the middle of all the Dragon Ball Z fanfare. So shout out to Dragon Ball Z. When I got traded from Cleveland to the Jets, when I came back to Cleveland the very next year, I missed this sushi spot, and that was the most exciting thing I was waiting to do. As soon as I landed, I told all the boys on the Jets, I said, hey, y'all, I'm about to take y'all to the sushi spot. We about to go eat up. It's going to be on me. When you came back, is there any place that you were missing that you was like, I just have to have it either before the game or something?
Man, Captain J's, man.
Yes, sir.
Come on, man. They had
some of the wings and fries.
Man, about like 6 boxes of chicken. One thing was gone. Telling you, everybody kept talking about Slay. We need that crack on on the chicken, bring it to Philly for us, man. I feel like it's good luck.
Man, I'm telling you, man, like when players, because you've been somewhere for so long, like you fall in love with something, and then all of a sudden it's no longer there. You get traded. You like, dang, I really wish I had some Captain J's. And then when you play that team, I can only imagine how good that chicken was. Like,
man, it was amazing. It was amazing.
Hey, Darius, you showed Detroit so much love, whether it was, in your press conference in Philly leading up to the game in Detroit, whether it was on the field, and then the tweet after the game showing the city of Detroit. How emotional was this return for you? Because, many Lions fans look at you as one of those staple Lions that really was, one of the great players in the Jim Caldwell era, where you made it to 2 playoffs, and then all of a sudden one day it just felt over. Just the emotions after the weekend when you went back to Philly and you look back on your time here in Detroit.
Man, it was emotional, man, just because of the fact that, like I said, I've been there 7 years, in Detroit. My whole mindset was like, hey, I was gonna retire, a Lion, because of the fact that, I did so much, still playing at a high level, being still very consistent, and that's what I wanted to do. But God had other plans for me, and but like I said, I appreciate Philadelphia Eagles, man, taking a chance on me still. And doing what I was doing, but it was emotional, just as in fact that, like I said, 7 years, met great people, had great relationships with around there, and just up and move. It was tough, but I say it's a part of the business, and so I'm enjoying where I'm at. But like I said, Detroit will always be my second home for sure.
How long before you went to Philly did you run up the Rocky steps? Did you do that? Yeah. How many?
I guarantee he still hasn't done that yet.
Oh snap!
Did you didn't run up the Rocky steps, Slay?
Oh.
Nope. I think he might have something happened.
I think he just hit mute.
Maybe you hit mute. You got us, Darius?
Can you hear us?
Oh snap! Oh.
All right, let's get him off, so just in case. Darius Slay, thanks so much, my friend. I didn't want him to get caught off guard.
Yeah, he might have said something because he still was on. Like,
right,
audio,
he was on. Darius Slay, just an awesome guy. I mean, just one of those personalities too that so magnetic and got the people going so much there. Alex, is he still on with us, or did you hang up? Okay, yeah,
okay, I just want to make sure.
Yeah, we'll text him off the air. I didn't want to. Yeah. I didn't want to keep him up while he was looking for all that
puzzle. No, 100%. You don't want to keep any dead air. But I mean, you look at Darius Slay through 8 games this year, 4th highest graded cornerback, 78.6%. He's tied 4th in defensive stops at 13, 4th lowest yards per reception, 7.2. He's only allowed 20 yards under 5 games. Only Mike Evans has had over 20, and that was 27. Big players having a big season. Chad Johnson, shout out to our guy Chad. This is Chad's guy. Chad's been talking about Darius Slay this year, and if you read his stats, he is 100% correct.
Hey, Darius, we got you back now. We just wanted to say thanks so much for the time, man. We know you're busy. You could be doing anything you want right now. So thanks so much for joining us here. Detroit loves you, Darius Slay.
Appreciate y'all, man.
Much love. Appreciate you coming on, big guy.
Thanks. We'll do it again soon,
right,
man. Hey, you guys go on a playoff run now, okay?
Hey, that's the goal right now. We working right now.
Yeah, everybody in Detroit has a second team. We'll pick up the Eagles now since you're on it, right?
Exactly.
I appreciate that.
All right. Thanks, Darius Slay. Just so great.
Great energy. Great
energy.
Just great young man.
Just a true gentleman, too. I mean, such a nice guy. We certainly miss him here. And I think all the people at the Captain J's Chicken.
They just got a shout out.
I mean, they got a lot of plugs last week.
So my brother, this is his clothing line I'm wearing right now. Beast Now. It's my brother Berkeley. They have a website up. I can try to get the line. So
what's the website? Throw it out.
Beastnow.com. But the reason why I bring up Berkeley outside of his line of clothing that's amazing is that's his favorite spot. It's Captain James.
Yeah.
Like whenever he's around the area or there's a Captain James within range, oh yeah, we're going to get some chicken and some fries. So shout out to Captain James and my brother Berkeley.
Very good, very good. Braylon, the College football playoff rankings come out tonight at 7. We're going to have the 24/7 projections. We'll have that, and we'll give you ours. Are these projections right? Where does Tennessee, I just looked up at the TV, saw Tennessee. Where does Cincinnati?
I don't think they've had a season worth talking about in a long time.
Same amount of letters, Cincinnati, Tennessee. I think that's true. Either way. College football playoff projections next. Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line. Cincinnati, Tennessee, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah.
Yeah, look at that.
There you go. There you go.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
Hey gang, I want to tell you about Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac in Dearborn on Michigan Avenue. You need a car? They've got a car for you. You know, that chip shortage out there. You know, they talk about inventory, this, that, and the other thing. How about the pre-owned vehicles on the lot? All makes, all models, right there for you to drive off in. But hey, if you don't want to buy a car, how about selling them your car? You can absolutely do that. Whether you own your car or lease your car, it doesn't matter. Les Stanford is your authorized lease return center. You can stop in today, sell your car, walk out with thousands in cash right in your hand. It's a very easy process. You can check them out online, lesstanford.com, lesstanford.com, or call them today, 313-565-6000. 313-565-6000. How about that? You don't want to buy a car, sell your car.
I'm trying to get a car.
They got a car.
I'm trying to get you. You got the hookup?
I got a hookup.
You got the plug?
You. I do got the. I got the guy for you.
All right.
You ready?
Got the plug, man. Yeah.
What kind of car do you want?
I don't know, man. We got to talk off air.
We'll talk.
We'll
come
talk.
on, baby.
We'll talk off air.
We got to get Be Easy a car.
I know, right? We got to get me, you, and Ryan. We got to sit down and figure out what's Be Easy going to drive.
Right. I certainly will have some say in that. Just kidding. So throw it up there, Alex. The 24/7 college football playoff projections. Here's how it looks. Georgia, Alabama, Michigan State number 3, Oklahoma at number 4. So those are your top 4. And it always seems like no matter what Michigan State does, they can't avoid Alabama. If the college football playoff started today, they would play Alabama in the semifinal round. But so it goes Georgia, Alabama, Michigan State, Oklahoma, Oregon top 5. Then Ohio State at 6. Cincinnati is 7. Wow, that would be interesting.
I told you.
Notre Dame at 8, Wake Forest at 9, and Oklahoma State at 10. So here's the question that I had going in. How many one-loss teams would be above Cincinnati? The answer,
2.
Alabama,
3.
Oregon, Ohio State. 3 one-loss teams above Cincinnati.
Yeah, but if you look at their body of work and what those 3 teams have accomplished, it's much more than Cincinnati. Cincinnati does have a win. They did go to Notre Dame. They did beat Notre Dame on the road. And Notre Dame sitting at 7-1, so that's a really good win for them. But if I'm doing the eye test and I'm watching Ohio State has put up 50 on the last 4 opponents. Like, put up 50. And the quarterback is throwing for 330 and 3 touchdowns a game. Like, they're operating at a level, and they have the number 2 rushing attack in the Big Ten, and I think in the top 10 in the country with Henderson and Mayan Williams. Ohio State is a monstrous team. C.J. Stroud has figured out the defensive now picking up. You see the big boy?
Yeah.
The big boy get the scoop and score this past Saturday. What I see out of my 2 eyes tells me that Ohio State's 1 loss is better than Cincinnati's undefeated schedule. Oregon beat Ohio State, who I'm hyping up right now. So Oregon has to be above Ohio State, which they are. And then Alabama. Alabama has had some big wins, including Ole Miss and a couple others, Mississippi State, and Arkansas. So Alabama is doing what Alabama does. When they lose a game, be nervous when they lose a game. I told you last week, you saw Nick Saban smiling at the press conference talking about the baby. Nick Saban smiling isn't something that I'm comfortable with. It's not. It doesn't seem like it's right. Like all these commercials he's doing with Affleck now, I'm like, That's Nick Saban. I was like, something's in the works. He's going to win another national championship.
And I do think Alabama's the best team in college football. Now, Ohio State did, they won the game against Penn State, but they did look beatable, at least, against Penn State earlier on Saturday night.
But it's Penn State. It's not Indiana.
Yeah.
It's not Maryland. It's not Rutgers. It's Penn State.
And good for Michigan State here. This is a lot of love for the Spartans. And their win against Michigan at home, down 16 points in the second half, that's good enough to get them above Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Okay, Oklahoma, who's also unbeaten. Cincinnati, Ohio State. Look, Ohio State is one of those teams
hang around
where they get so much love for being Ohio State. I'm surprised Ohio State is not even above Michigan State in this projection, albeit a projection. And look, these things are fun for guys like you and me to talk about on a Tuesday in November.
Because nobody's going to be exactly the same.
All of this will play out.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what we say about it. It doesn't matter what the committee says about it tonight. Forget about us.
Yeah.
What the committee says tonight is virtually, and I say virtually, useless. Because all of this is going to take care of itself.
Yeah.
It just is. Specifically in the Big Ten, it's going to take care of itself. With the round robin of Michigan State and Ohio State playing each other. Michigan State's got to play Penn State. Ohio State's got to play Michigan State and Michigan. They'll go through it. Cincinnati, wherever they end up, Oklahoma's got to play a Big 12 championship game. And Alabama and Georgia, I'm not convinced that the SEC is going to get two teams in. What if Alabama loses to Auburn?
But here's where
I don't think they will. But
here's where the committee comes in, and here's where they place people comes in. And this is why, to your point, Michigan State's in a good spot. Because it could get hairy at the end of the season. Georgia loses to Alabama at the SEC championship game in Atlanta. Now you're looking at Georgia, 1 loss. Alabama just beat them, 1 loss. 2 1-loss teams right there. Let's say Michigan State runs the table. Then Michigan State, that means they would have to beat Ohio State as well. Ohio State now has 2 losses. Let's say Michigan runs the table as well. Michigan State's undefeated, but Michigan has 1 loss. If they beat Ohio State, and that's 2 Michigan State, who by that time will be still undefeated, so they would have to be number 1 in the country. And with Georgia and Bama, then you got Oregon. What if Oregon wins out and they stay there 1 loss? What if Oklahoma beats Oklahoma State? And now Oklahoma has 1 loss. Oklahoma State has 1 loss. Notre Dame still has 1 loss. Cincinnati. That's why this stuff is just fun, because there's so many ways that this can play out by the end of the year.
And as long as it's 4, it's real hard to take 2 teams from one conference, but that's essentially what we expect to happen in the SEC. So you're talking about...
It's always LSU and Bama, or Bama and Georgia.
Right. So, if you there's only 2 open spots. You've got a Pac-12 champ, a Big Ten champ, a ACC champ.
Let's not forget that Wake Forest is undefeated. And the ACC sucks this year.
So what are you going to do with an unbeaten Wake Forest team?
Never heard of them.
Heaven forbid.
Never heard of them. I'm not putting them nowhere near the top 4.
Even if they run the table?
I don't care.
You let them play Cincinnati in some consolation game?
Exactly.
Some New Year's 6, you will?
the no ifs given ball.
Yeah, I don't know. I think these things are fun. I love college football. College football is just the best to me.
Yeah.
And things like this make it great, with a caveat. Yeah. That all of this stuff will take care of itself, will sort itself out. But it's just this season in particular highlights the need for an expanded playoff.
You got to have an expanded playoff. There's been something at every point. Remember when the Big 12 didn't have a conference championship game, and remember when Baylor and TCU were both sitting there with 1 loss? It's like, oh, man, we're going to do it this. And they made them have the conference championship, so now you at least have a definitive winner in the Big 12. But there's always something. You look at Central Florida a couple of years ago. They go undefeated. They should have been in the college playoff. They actually still crown themselves national championships. Fish has talked about on the show a couple times. So it's always, like a cup, like an asterisk, or always something somebody could have gotten.
Alabama who?
But shit, I don't know about all that, big guy. But to that point, you hope that it takes care of itself. And that's why people really want this playoff. Because if you got 6 games or 6 teams, makes it a lot better.
Yeah, and again, it goes back to the question, which I've never been able to get an actual definition for. Is it the 4 best teams, or is it the 4 most deserving teams? And
What's
are
the difference
those two
between
things
deserving
different?
And best?
Well, okay.
So you're saying like
here's the difference.
Okay.
Cincinnati wins all their games.
Okay, which would be 2 years in a row.
They deserve a chance. They deserve the right to play for a national championship. They have a schedule. They won all their games on the schedule. They deserve to go play in the college football playoff. However, you will never convince me that they aren't better than a one-loss Ohio State team or a one-loss. Let's say Ohio. Let's say Michigan State. Well, no, that's not a good example because it's not a good example because if they go to the Big Ten championship game and lose to Wisconsin or something like that, they're probably going to get left out at one loss.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, don't you think because of the inferior opponent on the west side?
Yeah.
But let's say here's perfect one.
I don't know though. It depends on what happens up around that time.
I got a better example for you. If Georgia and Alabama play in the SEC championship game and Alabama beats Georgia, Georgia has one loss. The committee takes Georgia instead of Cincinnati.
Yeah, they did it a couple years ago.
I know, but what I'm saying is Georgia is the better team.
Yes.
Cincinnati perhaps could be the most deserving team.
Gotcha. Understand.
That's and I hope you understood.
No, I do.
Not you, but you in YouTube land.
And I'm looking at I'm looking at Cincinnati's
on our little podcast, as some say.
I'm looking at Cincinnati's their schedule
in the radio world.
You know, they beat UCF by 35, beat Notre Dame by 11, beat Murray State by 35, Miami of Ohio by 28. I mean, they almost lost to Navy 2 weeks ago. It's just ugly. Like when you just look at it, you have to reward them for being undefeated. They 2 years in a row now, especially if they finish out and they beat SMU. SMU is undefeated too, I believe. But do I want to watch Cincinnati over any of those teams on there?
No.
With the exception of Wake Forest?
Yeah, with the exception.
And Oklahoma State?
Yeah. No.
Yeah, I mean, Mike Gundy alone would be worth it. But
right, with the mullet.
Yeah, I just can't watch Cincinnati over any team up there.
You know what you will be watching tonight, though?
Maction?
No.
Oh, darn it. I wanted you to say Maction.
You started an animal with Braylon and Maction.
Baby.
You will be watching the World Series. Game 6. Did Atlanta blow their opportunity to clinch? Will they clinch
that clinched
tonight?
Yeah, right.
World Series talk.
But
Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Do you know why realtors love using Hall Financial as a lender? Because of our commitment to speed and service. We have nearly 4,000 five-star reviews already. Call today, 248-308-5000, or go to callhallfirst.com.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
How do you blow? Look, the World Series Game 5, the Atlanta Braves hit a grand slam in the first inning. At home, clinching situation. You have got to give the Houston Astros all the credit in the world. So did they win it or did Atlanta blow it? And Braylon, does Atlanta, I mean, are they done?
I don't think they blew it. I think they lost it. I think what the Astros did with those batsmen and not flinching, and we talked about Altuve, we talked about Carlos Correa, they just keep coming. They just have a knack for this time of year. They have a knack for this postseason. I told you about Carlos Correa's his record in terms of his last 6 postseasons. He has the highest OPS in the MLB. Like Jose Altuve always gets on base. He's always hitting home runs in those key and those clutch spots.
And not only when he gets on base, not only getting on base, when he gets on base, he scores.
He scores. Like he scores. He's one of the best base runners in the league in terms of knowing when to go, when to stay, knowing the flight pattern of the baseball after being hit, which side it's going to, which field, left or right. Like, they're just amazing. Like, the Braves still scored 5 runs. Freeman still hit a home run in the 6th. I think it was the 6th. Freeman hit a home run in the 3rd. So still had 5 points. It wasn't enough. The Houston Astros outlasted them, and they put the beat down on them in the end. And now they're back in Houston with their fan base after a weekend of rest. This could get ugly for the Braves. They got to win this game.
Well, I hope whatever happens that all the action is in the first 4 innings so the majority of people can watch it. That's because, and we mentioned this briefly yesterday a little bit, the time of the games. Here is some of the World Series ending times Eastern. This is Hembo from ESPN. Paul Hembo, they call him.
Man,
long last
he knows
name.
his stuff.
Yeah. So Game 5 ended 12:15. Game 4 ended just before midnight. Game 3 ended at 11:30. 11:20 in Game 2. 12:15 in Game 1. Each of the last 29 World Series games have ended after 11. And 11 of the 29 World Series games have ended after midnight. And we talked about this yesterday, Braylon. It's a really hard thing to do if you got to go to work the next day. I mean, now granted, in these cities, you're probably fighting and clawing and staying up however long you want to watch your team play. But if your team is not in these World Series games, I mean, is it worth ruining your day the next day to stay up and watch?
Yeah, at the end of the day, you grow the game with kids. And that was one of the biggest parts that I took out of that tweet. I remember watching the Super Bowl in 1990. I want to say it was the 90. It was the Bills and the Giants. And Scott Norwood missed the field goal. Like, that was a moment that impacted me. Like, I already was a football lover, but that moment impacted me. I remember watching it live. I remember the miss. I remember, I'm like, oh my God, it was a huge moment. I got a chance to witness that. I got a chance to bring me into football lore. That's what you're trying to give the fans. That's what you should be trying to give the fans. Bring the kids along. Like, bring these kids into the sport. You want to keep the talent level. And this is what it goes back to as well. The talent level of the baseball players today is at an all-time high. And it's the all-time high in every sport. But that starts with watching the game. Like, those guys grew up watching the game. Like, you want to continue guys playing at that level. You want to continue guys fall in love with it. You let them watch it. Let the kids watch it. Like, kids are going to sleep. Like, 12, 40, that's too late. What's up, Fish?
Are you guys basketball fans?
Yes.
Do you watch the NBA Finals?
Yes.
Okay, because those games don't even start till 9 o'clock, and they end at 11:30 if you're lucky. Those games are long, too. So is the difference action? Is that what I'm understanding from you guys and all the other shows? It's the amount of action? Like, basketball's fast-moving action, football's fast-moving action, so you don't care if you're up till midnight, where this is, oh, boy, here's the pitch.
Yeah, but I like baseball. I watched every game. I've stayed up. I've talked to Ryan for a couple. I've talked to Maz for every one of them. I've talked to him in the last this postseason.
Oh, I love baseball.
We get after it. I watch it, but I'm just saying, like, with basketball, yes, it's going to start at 9:05,
and that's
but
too
it's
late
going to be
too.
over at 11:30.
However, it's it happens in the summer too, which I don't know if that makes a difference or not. Where it happens, the NBA Finals are in June. The kids are out of school. You can usually stay up. It's not a school night for the kids. However, I will agree with you. I think that is too late. I think to start a game at 9 o'clock, you don't have to have it. You could easily start that game at 8 and be done by 10:45.
They do on Sunday night.
On the East Coast, yes. But on Sunday nights they do. Earlier, and we mentioned this yesterday too, in 1984, when the Tigers clinched that World Series, that ended. That was like a 5 o'clock start time. In the 70s, Maz chimed in, in the 70s, and he was talking about how he remembered flipping over to the Raiders game in 76. But this is from Hembo again on ESPN. Average time of World Series game ending. So this is
4:18.
So in the really in the 2000s, since the 2000s, the average time has been between 11:45 and midnight.
I would just start with the 90s and say 11:30.
Yeah.
And start at the 90s, 11:30 up.
Wow, it's
so it's been that way for a while. It's nothing.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm surprised they don't do something about that. Maybe they don't care.
On television, what is the night called? Primetime viewing.
Right.
So I guess television companies are all caught up on primetime viewing. Primetime is what, 8 to 10, 11? So I guess that's what they're 7 to 11. So I'm assuming that's what they're aiming for, right? That's why all the games, except for the Super Bowl, are on at 7, 8, 9 o'clock.
There are two things. The primetime lineup is an interesting one because there are two things that people watch live these days, and only two things.
What is that?
Sports,
news,
and news.
Yeah.
Those are the only two things people watch live. Everything else, they watch when they want to watch it. Yeah. Whether it's on Netflix or Hulu or YouTube or whatever the case may be.
HBO Max, baby.
HBO Max. Insert streaming service here. We'll throw Peacock in there as well.
Plus.
Apple TV. Woodward Sports Network. You watch what you want to watch when you want to watch it. So, again, I don't think these television networks or these sports leagues are beholden to any kind of old viewing habits, prime time lineups or anything. And not only that, but people aren't working the way they used to work anymore. Where you walk in the house with the briefcase, hello honey, and the dinner's on the table, and like this isn't 1960.
No,
you know what I mean? Like this isn't 2019. People are working way more remotely. People are setting their own schedules. People are working from home, doing their own thing. If you want to have the TV on in the background and have your laptop up, you could watch that game whenever you want to watch it. Yeah. So I don't know. I think something has to be done about it, but I don't know.
Speaking of having to be something having to be done about something. Man, that game last night with the Chiefs.
Oh, are they dead?
Talking about something having to be done about something. The Chiefs, man, it's ugly. It's an ugly situation. Like I think we need to talk about that. We need to dive into that when we come back.
And you got to get to the Mannings too. I mean,
that was the setup.
I gotta talk to you about the Mannings
John
here.
Stewart. Oh my God.
Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network. The bottom line.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Monday Night Football last night, the Kansas City Chiefs beat the New York Football Giants 20-17 on Monday Night Football.
I don't even know if you could say they beat them. They outlasted them.
Yeah, that was... And as you watch the game, it was striking to see how pedestrian Kansas City looks with all of that offense. I mean, Edwards-Helaire was out, but nonetheless, you still have Patrick Mahomes. You still have Travis Kelce, who had a big fumble late in the game. You still have Tyreek Hill.
You still have Mecole Hardman.
It's like speechless.
When you watch the Kansas City Chiefs, they're not the same that we saw. And I'm going to break it down on a couple levels. Like, one, the best play that Patrick Mahomes made yesterday was taking that sack at the end of the game. So he didn't throw the ball or turn the ball over and still allowed himself to get the field goal. Back a couple years ago, Mahomes' best play would have been some flip to Tyreek. It would have been some shuffle pass. It would have been some no look. It would have been some 70-yard bomb down the field. But because we put him on a pedestal with how great his talent was, and we glossed over that the defense was just okay, and they were getting by, and they were having that success, and they came out running a lot of little tricky things with Andy Reid that the NFL hadn't seen before, and they were having a lot of success. We put him on this level, like we've never seen a talent like that in the NFL. We've never seen anything like Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes this, Patrick Mahomes that. And then he wins the Super Bowl. And then the Chiefs believe in him as well because they made him a $500 million player, NFL contract, which is another reason why they can't get any defensive players because they don't have any money. But on the other side of that is Patrick Mahomes now believes in this myth that we've created for him. He believes in this guy that can make any pass and throw the ball without looking and flipping passes. And every play, he's looking for the home run. Every play, he's looking for the home run because he believes in that myth. That's part of the problem. Like, we put him too high up there. Now he's trying to, every play, live up to being that. He's trying to be the guy that's doing the State Farm commercials and the Subway commercials and Nike, et cetera. And Andy Reid isn't helping him. If you watch that first touchdown drive last night, great execution all the way down the field. He took what was given to him, little dumps to Tyreek. Tyreek was taking it for an extra 7, extra 9. You're getting 13 out of the deal. He's finding his receivers, with the exception of Travis Kelce. He's running if he has to, hand the ball off a couple times. Then they get down there, and on 2nd and 5, if we have that play, Alex, on 2nd and 5, they do this flip play.
I have no idea what was happening.
What the heck are you seeing? You got Travis Kelce taking a direct snap. He flips the ball to Patrick Mahomes. Nobody is open because nobody is falling for this mess. They're like, we know what you guys are doing. Nobody's falling for this mess. But this is where I say it's not Mahomes' fault. This is on Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy. Like, there's no need for this foolery, this tomfoolery, this foolishness on the 5-yard line. Do what got you down there. And then eventually he would throw a touchdown pass. But it was a bad play.
Did they throw the interception there in the next play?
No, they scored. They scored on that drive.
Okay.
They did score the back of the end zone to Tyreek Hill.
Because I'm thinking to myself, like, why don't you just methodically go down you just methodically went down the field.
And then you pull that out of your butt.
What is that? Because obviously it didn't work, so we can criticize it. But that first drive, I'm thinking to myself, the Chiefs are back.
Yeah, that was still the first drive.
Yeah,
and then you see that play, and it's like, what are we doing? And he luckily got a touchdown.
Yeah, I sit there and I'm like, just so stunned at how pedestrian the Kansas City Chiefs look. And what's their record? 4-4 now.
They're 4-4 and ugly. They're not even the best 4-4 team in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the AFC, there's no runaway team. I mean, the Raiders at 5-2 are atop the AFC West. They're not a team that really scares you right now, especially with what happened. Henry Ruggs doesn't seem like he'll be available for quite some time.
No, he will not be.
Tennessee Titans at 6-2. They're a much different team. The Baltimore Ravens might be their year. Yeah. Baltimore.
But everybody's hurt.
Everybody's
hurt.
They
need to get people back. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with the Titans.
Buffalo.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens with the Titans because what they've done. They beat the Colts twice already. So now that Derrick Henry is out, they beat the Colts already twice. The Colts are a good team. The Colts would have beat them without Derrick Henry. They would have beat them both times. So you've already beat the hardest team in your division. They're going to win that division without Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry has a 6 to 10 week projection. Derrick Henry is not an average human being. Like, Derrick Henry could come back, and the fact that they've already beat the Colts twice will help them out. So I'm telling you, pay attention to that. There will be some legs on that too. But Andy Reid has to do something. You got to run the ball. Like, I don't care what you're supposed to do. I don't care that Mahomes is this guy. He's this, generational talent, as they say. You got to run the ball because all defenses know they can just play quarter two. All you're going to do is pass all game long. Pass all game long. You're not going to hand the ball off. So all they did was spy Mahomes and play coverage.
I'll make a trade for you.
What's the trade?
DeAndre Swift to the Kansas City Chiefs for a first this year and a first next year.
What type of idiot would the Chiefs be?
I mean,
they need a wide receiver, as I say, run the ball, but they need a number 2 wide receiver.
Swift could do that too. Give me 2 firsts for DeAndre Swift.
You about to get us canceled. You about to get us canceled.
Give me a first this year, a first next year, and then a second the following year.
Throwing the Bugatti while you at it. Why don't you just throw in a Bugatti to sweeten
I'm
the deal?
trying to get rid of all our guys, man. I'm trying to get rid of all our guys.
Trying to get rid of our best offensive talent.
But I mean, we're trying to win a game. But look, speaking of the Chiefs, though,
run
in the AFC, to me, it is Buffalo and everybody else right now, especially with just the uncertain future of Derrick Henry. I do want to ask you about the Mannings, though, because as I watched the Mannings last night,
it's so good.
I have actually transitioned into watching Monday Night Football. The majority of my viewing is now with the Mannings.
Yeah,
I am fascinated, and the interviews are great. But I personally prefer when it's just Peyton and Eli talking about the game and the situations without any of the interviews, because I think that then takes away from how they're watching the game.
Right.
But when they're breaking down defenses and what play and what player, and this guy ran this route the wrong way, and Mahomes this, and what a slide, got to do that, can't do this. It's like sitting in on a free education. It's like you're in a college course of football.
Yeah, and for the sports slappies like you, that's going to be great. Like when he's breaking it down, because then it's you test your knowledge on what you know about the game. And then when trust me, I get it 100%. And then when Peyton or Eli says something that you have said, you're like, see, I said the same thing. But on the flip side, when you add a Jon Stewart, when you add a Michael Strahan, when you add a Michael Irvin, when you add a Josh Allen, now you bring in, once again, the younger fan base. Now you bring in, the women that are involved in the game that are huge in terms of being fans. They add to that entertainment level, and then they're fun. And you see the comments that Jon Stewart made telling Peyton that they need to breed some more Peytons so they can have a quarterback for the Giants. And then Peyton said, well, I guess my dad's stud fee just went up. It's just brilliant writing, and then that's Peyton. Peyton is flawless when it comes with that wit and off-the-cuff stuff. It's really good. Also, to your point, you don't even have to watch it. You can just listen to it.
Right.
Like I find myself tweeting you guys, like texting you guys in the group chat. I find myself watching baseball on a laptop or doing something else as I'm listening to, because they break it down in such detail. You don't even have to watch it and know what's going on. It's like, well, you see cover high safety right here. What I want to do is I'm going to look him off. I don't have to look up to know exactly what's going on. I can just do my notes or whatever. But
Braylon can do it all nonchalantly. Me, I'm like...
Nah, but it's a great product. It started off kind of shaky, started off kind of rocky.
I didn't like it.
Yeah,
I came out the first week and I said, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. And then just slowly but surely you watch something, and that's part of how, just changing habits.
Yeah.
It is so used to, as sports fans, we are so used to watching a game with a play-by-play announcer, with an analyst, with a sideline reporter. Then we added a second sideline reporter to get the other team. And then you're like, no, that's such an old way of doing things. Like, how new and fresh is this?
Innovative.
Kind of like what we're doing here at Woodward Sports.
There it is. I was waiting for that dynamite drop in. There we go. Hey, we said fresh, cool, and fun, man. But you're 100% right. You got to evolve, and the Manning show has evolved. They just keep it rolling with the guests too, though. Like I'm telling you, you had Jon Stewart. He was hilarious. Marshawn was beyond hilarious. Dropped the F-bomb on national TV. That's always great. But you can add Kevin Hart into that. How funny would Kevin Hart be? Like if you're playing Philly, and he can talk about the story of how he was drunk and tried to go on stage and to celebrate the trophy. You can bring The Rock on. When you have a Miami game and, have The Rock. But you can just have so many different people on there. It's only going to go up from here.
And the more popular it gets, the more
stuff that they will do.
But the more people will want to be a part of that as well.
Yeah.
So that's good. Alex, I know you wanted to chime in on this.
Yeah, speaking of since I'm on camera, let me get this for a second.
Hey, there's Stick back there, by the way.
So Braylon, you brought up the guests that the Mannings had. I got a cool stat for you guys.
Go green.
Every time an active player comes onto the Manningcast and has an interview with them, they lose their following game.
I saw that.
Travis
actually,
Kelce in week 1 was on, lost week 2. Russell Wilson was also on, lost in week 2. Gronk, Stafford, and Brady all lost the following week. when they were on the Manningcast. Josh Allen, I believe, was on last night, and he plays at Jacksonville this weekend.
Ooh,
luckily he's playing Jacksonville.
Now, look, if Josh Allen and the Bills
Then
lose to Jacksonville, then I'll buy into it.
I might buy into it now. I mean, it's like the Madden curse. The Madden curse started with, Eddie George. It was 1, it was 2, and you looked up. Everybody that was on it got injured or had an awful game. So it might be something to it.
I can't imagine. This will be the week to determine whether there's a Manning curse.
Josh Allen versus Trevor
or
Lawrence.
not. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, gang, we are on tape delay on the radio. 93.5 The Roar, 99.1, 94.7 HD2 FM. So if you're in the car and want to listen to us, if you missed any part of the show, we're on from 6 to 8:30 on those 3 radio stations. Also, watch us on YouTube. Watch us on Twitter. YouTube is really the spot where I think you get a lot of the great content. It's all right there for you. The Bottom Line, Woodward Sports Morning Wood. Of course, it was great to have Adam Baydoun back in the chair today. Absolutely. And, of course, the guys in the afternoon. It looked like Joik is sitting in the Maz chair now.
So Joik actually talked to one of the Woodward Sports Network employees and said, "Hey, I want to be in the Maz chair." And this is about a week ago, and he's now in the Maz chair. He's doing his thing. It's comfortable.
Look at that. Neil Rule, Darren McCarty. D-Mac's great to work with, too. I mean, D-Mac had Alex in a headlock. I was talking to Alex today. I was talking to Alex, and then all of a sudden D-Mac comes behind Alex and just kind of puts him in this sick move against the wall. It was awesome.
You gotta love our buddy.
Feel good, Alex?
That was really scary. Yeah, it kind of hurt a little bit. And I can't imagine being Lemieux and all those guys. So, yeah.
The funny thing about being former athletes is I think when we're playing around, we tend to forget everything that we've learned in the realm of physicality and strength over the years, like moves. And I remember I was showing, I had some buddies over and we were just watching the game, and I was showing them a release and how it works and how somebody can use the dip, rip, and pull. And I dip, rip, and pulled his shoulder. I almost pulled his shoulder out of socket.
Forget how strong you are.
I'm like, oh, man.
Braylon, I want to go one-on-one against you.
Even a couple little things that D-Mac has done to me.
In what? Tackling? You guys get killed?
No, I'll be the corner, and Braylon will be the wideout, and I want to see how out of 5 routes, how many I can stop him.
Ooh, okay. I like that.
Oh, I got that's good.
I'll look something like Andrew Anthony looked on Saturday. Shout out to my boy Andrew Anthony Jr.
All right, gang, Bottom Line videos of the day next.
Woodward Sports Network, Ermanni Networks, the Bottom Line.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand.
Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads. They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate
of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Foaling Warehouse in Hamtramck, home of the original bowling pin game called Foaling. I went there when they first opened up. I'm telling you, I had a lot of fun. It is a fun game, but it is harder than you think. Nobody is aiming down when they're throwing the football. Well, when you go here, you will be aiming down at the pins. Host your corporate party, team building event, or just come in with family and friends. 2 ways to play. $10 unlimited open play. Stay the whole time. We are open that day. Or a private lane reservation for $120 for up to 10 people for 2 hours. We have over 100 beers, our mystery $2 beer machine, and multiple full bars. You bring the food or have it delivered. I know I'm always on DoorDash, maybe a little bit too much. Come get your foal on. Check it out, foalingwarehouse.com.
Can't wait to do that. That's going to be fun. I think we're going to do that
November
in a couple
22nd.
of weeks. Yep. That'll be fun.
Should be November 22nd.
And you got that bottle of vodka anywhere?
Hey, man, there it is.
Oh,
there it is.
Baby.
Got 2 different bottles.
Look at that.
I like the prism bottle. I like the dimensions at the bottom.
I want that.
I like the prism. I like it. Great bottle. Great bottle. It's all in the bottle. Like, I've always been a bottle guy. Like, I feel like if you have a good bottle, you got a good brand of alcohol. And this bottle is a representation of that. Great flavors. Drink responsibly, though.
Absolutely. And get your Gypsy vodka. That is awesome. We appreciate their partnership here on Woodward Sports. The bottom line, Ermanni and Edwards. We might have some Gypsy vodka at the Foley.
Hey, why not? You know, today's Tuesday. Yeah, we'll wait till the Foley.
Absolutely.
We'll wait till the Foley.
Guys, let's get to the bottom line videos of the day on November 1st, 2001. Mr. November was born. What?
I know.
For the first time in the history of Major League Baseball, playing the World Series during the month of November, and for very good reason. Everything pushed back 1 week after September the 11th, pushing the postseason back, and now officially into November as Derek Jeter bats with 2 out and nobody on. Jeter hits it into right. Back at the wall. Game over. Yankees win and the series is tied.
Oh, little Tino Martinez in the mix there. That was awesome. That porch at Yankee Stadium was so short, 314 down the line, and I think he might have hit it 315 or 316.
Whatever. He hit it 314 and 1 centimeter. He barely got that thing out of there. But even when Maz is in the studio, you still feel his presence with the Yankee clips, the Yankee highlights, man. So
that was Joe Buck. How did it sound with Gary Thorne? Here's how it sounded.
Right field, short porch. Way back on the wall. Goodbye, home run. Derek Jeter. The Yankees have won it. 4-3 in the 10th inning.
Yeah, with Maz, you were getting both of those calls. I'm surprised we didn't get John Sterling's call on the Yankees radio network either.
I was like, we're just going to show the same highlights in multiple ways, multiple angles, and multiple commentators.
Right. All right, guys. Hey, on November 1st.
I think I'll go with the second one.
Right. On November 1st, 2017, the Astros beat the Dodgers to win the World Series.
Success. Traded over here because of Sanchez success.
Here's a ground ball right side, could do it. The Houston Astros are world champions for the first time in franchise history.
All right, we're going to get it. And Justin Verlander won a World Series that year. You ready for another baseball clip?
Maz, what are you doing?
Maz.
What are you doing? Every highlight's baseball highlight, Maz?
Well,
sorry, I'm very excited. Baseball's on today.
Maybe this one is worth it because it took 108 years. It was worth the wait. The Cubs
baseball break
on
Thursday.
This day in 2016.
They've done it before. Here's the 0-1. This is going to be a tough play. Bryant, the Cubs win the World Series. Bryant makes the play. It's over. And the Cubs have finally won it all. 8-7 and 10.
Goose pimples.
Man.
How do you not?
I'm so mad about that game or that series. So I was actually staying in Chicago at that time. I was living in Chicago. I had been there probably since August, and I stayed from August, through October. And the week that the World Series started, I moved back to Michigan. I came back home, and then I missed it all. Like the Cubs' first World Series in 150 million years. But it was a great series though. Even that game we talked about it with Fish, talking about how late it ended. I think it went into 10 innings. Man, it was like Cleveland hadn't won in Lord knows how long. The Cubs hadn't won in Lord knows how long. Whose curse was gonna get lifted? And it was a heck of a series.
Unbelievable.
Bill Murray, you get to see Bill Murray.
John Cusack.
It also had like a 45-minute rain delay, so that doesn't help.
Yeah. Oh, that was great. That was a great moment in sports history. And also, how about this one? This is football. Remember Michael Crabtree?
I do.
Burst onto
the
scene right here as A&M shocks Texas.
Can't take a sack. Deflected, intercepted. Texas. No, they rule it down.
Underneath it.
That's a drill that you work on all the time. It goes right through his arms.
Second down now. Deep strike. Got the big man. Crabtree pulls free and touchdown.
I said A&M, Texas Tech, Michael Crabtree, Graham Harrell.
I remember watching this live. Colt McCoy, Shipley.
Look at this.
Earl Thomas right there.
The catch, I mean.
Yeah, he has big hands. Played with him in San Francisco.
Long career.
1 year I was there. Played a couple years. Just, he was a great at Texas Tech. He was amazing. 2-time Biletnikoff winner. He won it twice. Won his sophomore and junior year, and then he left for the NFL draft.
Was he an all right dude or not really? Michael Crabtree. Gotta see the point. What a day it was.
Wait. I didn't hear you.
The mic was muted. I think you muted your mic for a little bit.
Muted.
Right. Yeah. Your earpiece came out. Dog ate my homework. Big day tomorrow. The first reveal of the college football playoff rankings. We'll take a deep dive into that.
Yeah, I'll be excited, man. It's going to be interesting to see. And the biggest thing to see, I think, is going to see what do they do with Cincinnati. When the first ranking, what do they do with Cincinnati? I think that's going to be the biggest one. I want to see Cincinnati. What do they do? I want to see what they do with Ohio State, and I want to see what they do with Michigan State.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. And not only that, though, Braylon, but, this college football season, there doesn't seem to be that unbeatable team.
Yeah.
That's why this is so important. And again, I'll say it a million times today. I did already, and I'll say it a million times tomorrow. This means not very much. It will all play out the way it's supposed to, or at least we think anyway. But my goodness, we're excited for it.
I'm excited too. I think one of the things is the last 15 years, especially the last 12, you know who's going to be there at the end every year. Like every year you're just waiting for Ohio State. You're waiting for Alabama. You're waiting for Georgia. You're waiting for Clemson, who's not going to be nowhere in the near future. But that was what you had been waiting for. This year, it's open. Like you said, you're like, what's this Wake Forest team about?
Yep.
What's this Michigan one-loss team about? Michigan State, what's this Heisman Trophy winner Ken Walker III? What are they about? So it's going to be very interesting to see how it all plays out. And Cincinnati's undefeated. Notre Dame has one loss to Cincinnati.
Look what this guy's doing in here. What's happening in there?
Hey, man.
I'm just comforting him.
Nursing the baby.
Hey, we have 3, 2, 1. NFL trade deadline is over.
It is over. No major. Deshaun Watson is still a Houston Texans.
DeAndre Swift is not on the Chiefs.
No. For 2 first-round picks and a second-round pick?
And a Bugatti.
Oh. We'll see you tomorrow, gang. Ermanni and Edwards.
We're out of here. Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Westbrook for the mid. Oh, my God.
Wow. Air bank.